Why did they scream? Me and two of my friends. They both start with an M and an L, so let's call them Mario and Luigi. We had just gotten off of school and we usually walked home together, and this wasn't any different. We were near Luigi's house when Mario spoke up about having some weed and asked if we wanted to go smoke it at our usual spot in the woods. Luigi and I agreed pretty quickly. So instead of stopping, we kept walking down the road, and we decided to go on a 2-mile walk to the edge of our town where it was nothing but forest. We usually drive or take our bikes, but this time we walked. We crossed the bridge and started hiking the trail, and about a mile into the forest we reached our spot for smoking. It was a circle we made for hanging out, a little clear in the forest, and it was near a comforting river. Well, usually we have more friends, and we had scavenged some material like chairs and tires, or even dumped boxes. So, a bowl was packed, we smoked it, and we enjoyed it. While we were packing the second bowl, Luigi spoke up about a weird feeling he had. He said, "Anyone else feel paranoid? Like, bro, I swear we're being watched." And I responded with, "It's the weed. We're chill." He seemed to feel a little better after that, and even Mario said some words to comfort him. So we started to smoke the second bowl, and in the middle of it, we heard a scream. A loud scream. Like, not loud to where we could hear it far away, but loud, as in right next to us. We freaked out and looked in the direction of the scream, and it was just some guy. He was walking the trail, but it was what he wore that stood out. You know, besides the scream. He wore this red robe. Like, this smooth cloth red robe. He didn't seem to notice us. So what was that scream for? Just then, another man in a red robe stepped out of the woods from behind us. From behind us. And he walked along the river to where he would meet his, quote, friend. They started up the trail further, just talking. And we all stood there silent. But we all gave each other these glances. And we all silently agreed on something. It wasn't a silent, let's get out of here glance. More of a, let's go follow them glance. So yes, we did follow them. About 50 yards behind maybe. And we didn't say a single word to each other. We were consciously making an effort to quiet our footsteps. We were confused and probably scared. I know I was, but we didn't say anything out loud. But we kept going because we gotta look tough for the boys, I guess. I don't really know. I know I didn't have a solid reason. I just wanted to follow. Eventually, the two robed men stopped at a campsite, and we stopped, still about 50 yards behind. But then we heard other voices. A lot of voices. And we slowly crept up, and we got close enough not to be seen, but we couldn't understand anything they were saying. We weren't close enough for it. But we saw all of them. We counted a total of 8 red-robed men. So altogether, there were 10. We stood at the edge of their camp behind trees and a mound that hit us, just a mound of dirt. We were on our stomachs for about 2 minutes trying to listen when we heard footsteps. Footsteps behind us. We turned suddenly, And of course, a red robe had been behind us. Damn it, we were caught, and before we could react to anything, the man lightly tilted his head back, took a deep, slow breath, and let out the most horrific scream. No words, just a scream. It sounded painful. Like for him himself to let out such a scream must have been painful. Mario just yelled, "Run!" And we all got up and just sprinted, pushing the guy out of the way. We went from full sprint from start to finish all the way down the hill. Luigi says during the run he turned around and he saw at least 4 red robes chasing after us. But I didn't look back, so I didn't know for sure. But I definitely heard some of them chasing us. Thank God we had all done cross country, so we all had the stamina to run all the way down the trail. And I think they stopped chasing way before, but we didn't stop. We ran and ran. We ran the mile back to the road and the 2 miles back home and made sure that we weren't followed. It definitely sobered us up, and it was easily the scariest moment of my life, and probably the same for the other 2. The run seemed to have lasted forever, but in reality the whole thing, the entire run must have been no more than 20 minutes. Only after all of this did we question, what was that so-called meeting of red robes? Why did they even wear red robes? And why did they scream?